All right, welcome to Wealth Cartel Legends, where we talk about how hindsight is a motherfucker.
Our mission, guys, is to stop people saying, I wish I had listened, and to help people to capitalise on everyone else's mistakes before making them yourself.
Yeah, in summary, our tagline says it all. Turn our hindsight into your foresight so you don't have to make the same mistakes that we did.
That's a $20 fucking glass of scotch because they wouldn't let us have a shot. We're actually at Bella Vista Hotel, guys, by the way. We should give them a shout out there.
Posted, we do tag them, yeah. Bella Vista Hotel shout out. We should put in our intro, actually.
Yeah, they're letting us recording it for free. We need to fix the lighting, but other than that, we're pretty good. 80% of people these days don't finish what they start. And then even the people that do, they don't finish it properly.
But you watch you turn that into his passion later on, you know what I mean? Like you watch, like you get through your career as a kickboxer, whether you turn it into being able to run successful gyms or whether you turn that into sports management or like that, the fact that the law degree wasn't your passion at the time, but I guarantee it'll come back around and pay tenfold.
Yeah.
You know?
I think so as well. I think that's massive to understand that although you hated it at one stage of your life, at some stage that those 4 years of your life could potentially be the rest of your life. And don't get us wrong, if you want to, you'll probably train for the rest of your life, and with your mindset, bro, you could probably be training kids till you're 60. But like I think for someone to be able to go through that at an early stage of their life, then flip it on its head, become a professional fighter, you know, what you've achieved in between 16 and 24 is massive. And then for the rest of your life, like, mate, that 4 years or however long that law degree is, like, one of my business partners is a solicitor, he's a lawyer.
Yeah.
And the bloke loves it. He loves it. Same as Ryan loves his finance. And I'm like, how do you enjoy that, man? Like, I had a blow up with a leasing agent in Canberra, and I told them, I was like, fucking, you better fix what's going wrong. And I rang my solicitor. I was like, listen, I hope you're good at criminal law. Yeah, fucking support what's going on, because this bloke is not playing, you know, he's playing hardball. But I think what's crazy with you too, mate, you might find once you finish up fighting, you might find that law degree can somehow work you into a job in the fighting industry. You might find, you never know, you might be supporting Mark Hunt against the UFC.
But I think the other part is it's really important that is a crucial part in learning what your passion is. Like, you not doing that law degree could mean you never found your passion because you didn't. Sometimes you got to find what you hate to find what you love. You know, but I think what's important is I don't want to tell people to go out and go to a law degree and hate it, right? Like for me, I joined the army and I loved the army. I absolutely loved it. But about like do something productive. If you don't know so many young kids don't know what they want to do and they just go and become a tradie or whatever, and they just do that because it's an easy buck with no aspiration to build a business or do anything. Consider, you know,
because you're told what to do. That's what you're told what to do.
If you've got to make a mistake, or you've got to do something that could help you later on. That you know that'll probably help you find your passion quicker. But that is a good fallback. Like, I
think with trades as well, certain people like having a trade is nearly as good as having a degree in a sense. In Australia, so long as you stay in that workforce. Like I know people that are concreters that are earning more money than fucking people with degrees. Like, and they just work for someone. I know dudes on 65 an hour concreting, bro. They work 10 hours a day. You're taking home $3.5 grand a week. But
you got to have that. Like my dad's been a chippy his whole life. He's a gun, best builder I've seen. He's 50 this year. My stepdad is 50 this year, and he had 2 back surgeries, and he's 100%. Never owned a business his life. You know
the
what I mean?
problem is you don't weigh that up at 16 or 18, and you're probably never going to. I think that's one thing we're never going to be able to push the kids is you're going to have bad knees, son. Because I remember someone saying to me, "Oh, mate, you play footy, geez, you're going to have sore shoulders." I was thinking, fuck off. You know what I mean? And they're going, don't shoulder charge, tackle properly, mate, otherwise you'll end up with bad shoulders. Guess what? My shoulders are fucked. But, you know what I mean? And I never listened. And I still, you know what, if they took me back, I'd still do it because that's what I loved doing. That was what I loved. But I think ultimately in society today, it doesn't matter what it is you get behind you, whether it's a TAFE course, whether just upskilling and continuing to gain knowledge. Like I actually tried to apply in a management and leadership course the other day because I've gone from I work for myself. I had the most people I had working for me at one time was 6. By mid-October, I'm going to have 60. And like, it's hard. Like to manage that time management and people management of that type of people, like it's a skill in its own, man. So I try to apply at TAFE and they're not taking any more people. But I just think it's important for people to understand like those upskillings and you don't get to a stage where you're earning good money or you own businesses and you stop doing it. Like I feel like I got to myself to a position where I'm in a really good place in my life, but I'm at the bottom in my mind. I'm at the bottom again because I've never been here. I've never managed 60 people. And although the businesses are going well, me personally, I'm back down here. I've got no idea what the fuck I'm doing again. Yeah. So I need to upskill to become here. And I think that's really important. I think people need to understand that.
Well, there's a good quote I like with that, and it's better to be at the bottom of a ladder that you want to climb than halfway up one that you don't.
Yeah. And that's mad.
Yeah.
That's a fucking good quote. Yeah. We'll have to get that made up into a thing on the side of the podcast. No, that's good. I think that's important for you as well. I think with Arlene, we spoke heaps about the fact that with you guys as fighters, it's very different because with business people, you continue to grow level and level and level for the same shit. Whereas with you guys, you're like new fighter, new fucking job. Yeah. You've got to completely change your.
I think that reflects on. I think Johnny Bones was saying it about he's a goat. I don't care what anyone else says. What is cocaine? He's steroids. Fuck off. He's a goat. No one's smoking.
Everyone's like. Cocaine and steroids. Fucking welcome to the Western Sydney, dickhead.
he said he's got the best resume of who he had to come up through to get the title, right? But a lot of fighters aim for the title. When they get to the title, they think it's like, oh, I've done it, and then they don't hold it for very long because they're there. Where he was like, now I'm starting again. Now I would defend the thing against people who are hungry. People.
So many people lose that title first defense. So many dudes they like fucking annihilate everybody on the way up.
Yeah,
sleeping everybody first round.
He said, I was more scared. He goes, because now there was me coming. I don't know how hungry I was for the title. Now I had to fight that person. Yeah. And then now he's against Reyes and that. He's at the age where he's like, fuck.
Yeah, quick, bro. I'm going to
years, man.
I'm going to fucking heavyweight to fight the slow dude. Fuck that. Hey, are you what's the situation? Are you going to stick kickboxing? Are you going to transition MMA? Like, have you got plans to do other things, or like, what's your?
Well, I mean, most of my goals at the moment are around kickboxing, but it's also having that, just being open to maybe going to MMA, because I train with a lot of MMA guys, spar with a lot of MMA guys. If I'm beating them up on the feet, they'll take me down. So I'm getting pretty good at standing back up again. So I figure.
Yeah, fucking oath. That's a good
point. Just get that rear naked choke.
Do not get taken down for fuck's sake, and don't fight Khabib. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So what do you fight? What's your weight? Super light, heavyweight. What's that?
So I mean, it has all different weight classes. So say the organisation that I'm aiming for, and that's sort of the pinnacle of kickboxing at the moment, is Glory Kickboxing.
Yeah.
Their middleweight weight class is 85 kilos. So all of my fights have been around 86, 88 kilos, and I can make 85.
88, that's fucking, that's big dudes, bro. Like 88 fighting weight, that's a big cunt.
Yeah.
Like I'm 110, imagine fucking walking into just Glory and going, right, I'm 110, let's go.
Yeah.
Like I'd have to get down to 80 kilos. Like I'd have to lose 35 kilos to be able to walk in there and look like a normal sized human, because these dudes are fucking... They're light. They're big and they're light.
88's about Paulo Costa.
Yeah, he's a fucking giant. Do you see the size of that dude?
Yeah,
he walks around at 112.
Yeah.
Like what's Whittaker walking around at?
No, about 100.
What, he fights at 100?
No, he fights at about 85.
84, yeah.
85 kilos. He's a fucking how that?
Yeah, you should see Paulo Costa.
Yeah, but Paulo
Costa's looks like a bodybuilder.
That just freaks me out. Like in regards to
you're not
weight.
gonna get me very tall. Like you can't hold that weight.
That's the thing. I don't know what. I think it's because I've just got ridiculously long legs.
Yeah.
So it's like, and they're skinny. So it's like I've just got, and that was the thing I developed really early on was my kicks.
Yeah.
Because my coach just saw that they were going to be an advantage, and then so when I'm
just use the leg reach.
Yeah, literally, and then that sets up everything else, because they get so
worried about the kicks.
Exactly. That and then often they're
trying to come in close, catch a knee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I've finished like a fair few people with knees like that's because especially when they get in that closer range, they're thinking about hands, but the knee just comes and just cracks them in the liver.
Yeah, and some of the angles I remember watching kickboxing back in the day, it was all really straightforward. It was like everything was forward, but now like you look at it, these fucking elbows, knees, legs coming from all.
Was it the knee in that you posted that amateur fight the other day? Was that knees that finished that blow?
Yeah. I'll show you another. I think I'll show you another one as well, which was about 2 years ago now, which was like my first real good knockout. And it was a knee, and it was just like I remember when I hit him, and he was quite a bit more experienced than me. And I remember when I hit him with it, like it just
you were just like you're fucking gone.
Yeah. And it was like, when you hit the sweet spot, like and it feels like nothing. And I remember I just looked at him, and he was like looking at me, And it was like, we both knew, and then it was like that delayed reaction. And he just dropped, and he's just like, right. And I was like, sort of like, this is my first one. I didn't know what to do. And I was like,
I watched this training video of Cerrone. Like, I love Cerrone, right? I watched this training video, and it was prior to, he hit this dude with a combo. It was like a left, right, rip, like it was a rip, and then he head kicked him. But his foot was behind the other dude's foot. Like when you watch the video, his left, I think he hit him with the right leg. I think his left foot was behind the other dude's foot. So he's parallel with him, and his legs went fucking, like he could have kicked his own head. How the fuck are you supposed to stop that?
If he missed him, he did kick
he misses that dude, he knocks himself out. Mate, it's a scary, I love watching it. There's no fucking chance. And
kickboxing, we reference, the kickboxing fans will get up us for referencing MMA so much, but it's just obviously not as shown the kickboxing. But I watched a little bit of K1, like you love watching.
I love the MMA, but I'm a kickboxing fan.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of John Wayne Parr, man. Like I fucking love John Wayne Parr. And then Peter Graham. Like it was fucking huge when he Rolling Thundered
Batter Harry.
Yeah, and like Batter Harry was the GOAT, right? Like Batter Harry was fucking everyone up, and then kissed Peter Graham Rolling Thunders him. That was it for me. That was the pinnacle. I was like, the Aussies win, cunt.
It's over.
But for me too, Thailand. Like you go to Thailand and you go to Bali, or you go to these because I went to Thailand a lot as a kid, and you go out on the piss to these places. And they'd pick dudes out of the crowd to get up and fucking fight for a round against their champion. If you can last a round, you get $1,000. I remember being young thinking, I'm going to get up, and then getting in there and be like, fuck that. But I grew a love for fighting from there because everyone there fought. Yeah. All these third world countries, they fought, man, and like they loved it, and they ran around smiling. They were assassins at night and fucking smiling like people in the day. And I don't know, I got a love for that. And then obviously the Bulldog Gym, like I was watching a fucking heap of shit go through there and a heap of the boys go through there, and that I was just like, fuck, this is not like. And for me, Aussie kickboxing is the pinnacle. Like the Aussies are the best in the world. Like you've got people that compete, but in my opinion, Aussies are the best kickboxers in the world. So that's why I like it so much.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll bring through a new wave of that as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things I want to do. I want to start because what's the main thing that people don't like about MMA? Stand them up. Why don't you watch kickboxing then? Watch Glory Kickboxing and you will see the best striking in the world, hands down.
Yeah.
And there's no ground and it's constant action the whole time.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things that it needs someone to bring it to.
It's just the marketing though. Yeah. Like the UFC is just
100%.
All they've done, they just marketed it because you're right.
They're that good, bro.
Only real martial artists enjoy the full aspect of UFC, of MMA. And I love because I love the ground game. I love it, and that's where it gets.
I fucking hate it. Him and he's like, fucking look at him doing this. I'm going, fucking fight. You know what I mean?
It's crazy that your general population at the pub don't watch more, but it's just pure marketing.
Because what's shown like that.
That's right. Yeah. They just don't pay for it. They just think it's out there. But like if you watch good, I always watch the big, like when Batter Hari fought. Who's that blonde fellow who fought? The guy beat him.
Rico.
I always watch shit like the big ones like that. They're fun, but you're right. Like it's all stand and bang, and I don't know why people don't, but it's just not shown enough. So hopefully you can get that up and going. You know?
That's the aim. Yeah.
All right. So health wise, we've done the money thing. So health wise, if you could go back, a bit of hindsight on health, on your bodily health, mental health, everything. What are some tips you'd give yourself?
Yeah. So for this one, it was quite simple, and I think the simple ones are the best, so people understand. Literally. You have to experiment a bit, but find out what makes your body feel good. Do that. Find out if something makes your body feel bad. Don't do that, because it's like you said with the 4-day benders. How good did you feel after doing that?
Fucking good.
He said after, not during.
Not during. After.
I had a big night Saturday night, and it was not a big night. I was in bed 2:30.
Yeah.
I had one of the openings. One of the boys come back. We drank a couple of bottles of red, had a couple of beers, didn't go to bed till 3 o'clock. And I literally, no fucking word of a lie, I was in bed all day Sunday. I ordered fucking Uber Eats twice. My missus opened the door and I told her to leave. I didn't want to see anyone. And then I rolled out of bed and went to work Monday. And fuck me, bro. I feel good now. It's Thursday.
just getting around to it.
Getting ready to do it all over again.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do as a kid. Like younger, I used to, same thing. You get to, well, actually when I was younger, you could just bounce back out. But you get to
You'd still be bouncing back. You're that fit. You'd be having Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then you'd be ringing Monday going, all right, we're fighting tonight. Fucking.
I'll tell you what, because I gave up drinking a few years ago. So I reckon if I drank now, I would.
So drinking period?
Yeah.
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 Not a drink at all.
Not a drink. So last drink I had was it would be about 4 years ago now. It was September 2016.
And that's where you are going to be here to the majority of people here, because at 20 years old, there's not a lot of people that are going to sacrifice that for where you've gone, and you are the example of what can happen if you sacrifice one of those things. Like, don't get me wrong, we talk about not having to sacrifice things you like, but ultimately, tell me how many times on the day after you like what you've done the night before.
Well, I'll tell you the exact moment, and it ties into the health. I remember it was during my law degree, and there was the big law ball, like the function, and it was just drinks, like they're just handing out open bar. But I forgot what the word is because I haven't been to one for ages. But I remember, so I took advantage of it, and I'd been to go and watch, and I'd already decided I want to be a fighter at this point and what I wanted to achieve. And I'd been to watch a mate fight during the day and made most of the open bar, got absolutely smashed. I remember I was at my girlfriend's place at the time, and I was just like just woke up probably about 4 a.m. and I was just throwing everything up, and I felt awful. I remember just thinking, I was like, mate, if you wanna be a professional fighter and do this, you can never do this shit ever again. And
I have thought that to myself 900 times. Mate, if you really want to succeed in life, you can never do it. I can't, like, that's a fucking big thing, man. That's
Yeah, to say it and then do it, that's massive.
Just never.
First time you ever thought that? Was that the first time you'd ever thought, you know what, I better fucking stop this?
The first time I thought, of course I'd had times when I was like, you're hungover and you're like, I'm never drinking again. You know what I mean?
It's more of a hashtag these days, never drinking again.
Never again. Actually, never again. But but I got into that frame of thinking that it's like, no, if I decide that I'm going to give something up, that's it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because I've done that heaps, like with drinking and partying, and I'm like, all right, that you got to stop. But I'll stop for like 6 months, and I won't go near it for 6 months. I'm all or nothing,
and then hate the fuck out of yourself the one day after.
And then I'll be like, but see, then when I feel good, that's when I go, this will be fine. And I do fucking another 6 months. That's me. But I've never chopped it fully. But that's hectic. That's fucking.
I mean, I'm not like that with it. Like, they obviously.
We got you on to teach the kids. We're gonna have to start hanging around you more often. You're gonna be fucking good influences on the old boys, mate. Because I tell you what, like, for me, it's the conscious mindset.
That's
right. The part with me, it's the conscious mindset to go, this is what I'm going to do, and this is why I'm going to do it, and here I am, I've done it.
Yeah.
And with me, don't get me wrong, I've made sacrifices and I've stopped certain things to get better, but I know if I give up alcohol, my fucking life, I would just go bang. Like, I just know. And I'm like, but I just really enjoy fucking alcohol with my friends. Like, I really struggled. Well, I used to party really hard, and, get on it and go to festivals and stuff. Yeah. And I gave a friend of mine passed away from a pill.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I gave pills up, right? Yeah. That was it. Never again. Yeah. And for 6 months, when I used to go to this festival, I'd still go, but everyone would be fucked up, and I would get social anxiety because I wasn't that person, and I have a fear of not being who I am around my mates. Like, and don't get me wrong, it's probably just a fear. I'm probably going to be fine. But I really fear that. I really feel like, you know what? I've been partying now since I was 15. I'm 31. That's 16. That's more partying than not partying. If I give this up, do I lose who I am?
I think
am I not?
Charles nailed it. You found what was more important, and that's what I'm in. Like, I don't care if people drink or party. Like, I'll never stop drinking or partying. For me, it's I know I still enjoy it, but not enjoy it enough to do it every weekend. There's better things. So I separated across, right? Like, I'll do it, I'll plan for it, and I'll have it planned. But the conscious decision for you to go, because you can't say I didn't have fun, right? Like, you would have paid me, I had a good night, but you to go, I did have fun, but this is going to bring me more joy long term, and then stick to that. That's phenomenal.
Imagine 4 years of fresh wake ups.
Well, it's just normal to me now.
Like, but you know what I mean? Like, but that's like, it's
imagine you waking up with a hangover now. You'd be on suicide watch. Like, you would be.
Because, like, you know yourself. I done dry July a couple of years in a row. And I was like, I'd done it for and so for me, like, I think within me, I need to understand that there's a reason I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't dry July for cancer. Like an ex-girlfriend of mine, her mother had passed away of cancer, and you know, to me, it was really important at the time, and it was fucking easy. It was the easiest thing I'd ever done because there was a reason behind it.
Perfect.
And then I done it. I was like, the next year, like we'd split up the next year, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to keep doing this. Like it sort of means, and that month had to have been the most productive month I'd ever had in my life.
You watch these podcasts back to yourself.
I'm gonna do it, eh? I'm just gonna start hanging around Charles instead of you. You know, fucking. He's a fucking bad influence. You should have seen what he did. We got here for the first podcast, bro, and he was like, "I'm getting blind." We hadn't even bought a fucking beer yet, and then we had shots of scotch and fucking. We left here at like 10 o'clock that night.
Yeah, but it'd been a while.
It had been a long time.
So that's the thing, in moderation.
So the summary is, so you say do what your body likes and don't do the things you don't.
Yeah.
Do you have any other tips on for the head, for the headspace? Because it's probably hard for you because yours is so good.
Yeah, you're in a good headspace, man.
No, but I have my times, you know, like where for me, I don't feel like I'm in a good headspace. You know what I mean? I think for me, what I try and do is I try and ground myself every day, and it's becoming self-aware of different feelings. So if I'm feeling, I'm feeling restless, so I might try and I like sitting down reading, and it's like I might feel restless when I'm doing that. It's like, why am I feeling restless? Oh, it's because, you know, I'm focusing too much attention on, you know, where my career is going, or I'm worrying too much about
the Australian Dalai Lama.
Fucking the Messiah, bro. Like, people, like, we're sitting here trying to teach people, and we love the fact that we learn while we're teaching. Like, we spoke about that last week. We're like, we're fucking learning so much by trying to teach people things. But honestly, Ryan spoke last week on being conscious of when you do something. In our podcast, he said to me, all he wanted to do within himself was he didn't have a problem with himself drinking or partying or doing whatever he did. He just wanted to be conscious of when he'd done that and understand that when he made that decision, there's going to be consequences to it. So if he goes away for a weekend to a mate's wedding, come the Friday when he's leaving, he's made his decision up. I'm partying, but I'm going to not feel good Sunday, so I'm going to stay an extra day and then I'm going to drive home. Just being conscious of that decision.
Yeah, knowing yourself.
Right, but a lot of people don't think like that. It's so impulsive. Like, life is just impulsive. You wake up on a Friday, you go to work, you come home, you're like, fuck it, beers.
Yeah.
And that's where there's so many issues in the headspace. I reckon that is such a leading place to people having fucked up mental breaks.
Making decisions they're not acceptable.
Like they have a beer on the way home from work, that's fine, and then they go, fuck it, time to party. But I told my missus I was going out for dinner with her. You know what? Fuck that. I'm going to sack that. I'll deal with that Sunday. And this is something I've done all these things, right? And then come Sunday, you're feeling that sorry for yourself. You just want your missus to pat you and tell you everything's okay, but you've already fucked her over for the Friday, Saturday, so she doesn't want nothing to do with you. Yeah. And you're curled up in a ball on the lounge Sunday watching fucking John Wick going, oh, this is fucking shit. Like, but I don't think you would have ever made a decision like that since you were 20.
No.
That's a fucking... I make those weekly.
I think I went through, from 18 to 20, I went through 2 solid years of making those decisions. I think with me, like I always bring it back to having the purpose.
Yeah.
Like when I set my purpose to be this, and I set massive goals for it. So it's like one of my goals, and like I'll openly say this to people, is I want to be considered one of the greatest of all time for kickboxing. Like when people talk, like when you talk about, say, Peter Graham, you know, Mark Hunt, Badr Hari.
Yeah.
I want Charles Joyner to be included in that. So then I sat down and I thought, well, what's that going to take me doing on a daily basis? That's going to take me being the best version of myself I can be on that daily basis. So then that's where my awareness comes back into it. I'm like, and it's not like a constant trying to beat yourself up of like, oh no, well, you're being weak by doing this. It's more like, okay, is this what my best self would do?
Is what I'm doing contributing to that purpose?
Exactly, yeah. And then over time, I just found that it becomes habits. And it's funny because it's like talking to you guys now, and then you obviously responding well to what I'm saying. It's kind of like, it reminds me that I'm doing okay, because it's just become a habit for me as like, so when I talk about it, it's just, oh, this is what, like, this is.
I think it's important. We don't want to get like, one of the things I see in the young is one of the best things about you is you're not you don't, what do you call it? Like you don't,
Lord?
No, you don't check yourself or you don't measure yourself against the average. You're measuring against your purpose because it's very easy to go, I've got mates to do this all the time. They'll get on the piss and they're like I could do it for me, right? Which I don't. I do it for my purpose. But I could go, I only get on the beers once every 6 months. That's way better than everyone else. But it's got nothing to do with everyone else.
Yeah, I do that.
Justification, you know. It's got nothing. What they're doing has nothing to do with what you are trying to achieve. And you've learned that and done that. And something that I've learned in the last probably 3 years that is really good is measuring yourself up against your own purpose and what you want to do. Whether if you don't have it and being good in your purpose is getting on a bender every weekend, well then fine. I don't know anyone that it would be, but that's fine. But if it's not, then you need to figure that out.
I do that. I still do that now. I still and I've never been pointed that out to before, but I'll have, and don't get me wrong, I'm going all right, but I'll have a time like last night, for instance. There was water in the fridge. This is a fucking classic for me too. There's water in the fridge. I didn't want water. I wanted soft drink. There was no soft drink. There was 2 little bottles of vodka, like fucking pre-mixed. It was 10 o'clock at night, and I was like, fuck it. So I just drank the vodka. That's not fucking normal, right? But I was thinking about I was laying in bed thinking this morning, fucking drank 2 bottles of vodka at 10 o'clock last night. So it was the first drink I'd had in the Arvo. But I drank it because I didn't want to drink the water because and in my mind, I was like, there's some weird shit happening going on with your fucking head at the moment, bro.
Your justification process.
In my mind, I'm just saying, well, I can do that because I'm going all right.
Yeah.
Justifying the fact that life's good, we're doing a dumb fucking thing like that. It just doesn't make, because this morning, I was like, my missus woke me up. I ran the bins out and I was literally running the bins out thinking, what the fuck did you do that for? Crazy.
So that's good. I like that. So next one, living a lifestyle. So you got to enjoy it, right? Now this is where it becomes blended because for you, what you do for work, your purpose, that's all enjoyment for you, right? So it's hard. But what's your take out on this, on how to balance that living of that lifestyle?
So when you say life, so how I took this one was, it was tying it back to the purpose. It was finding the main thing for me was, it sort of sums up what I feel like I've done with my life up to this date is don't follow the crowd. So it's so easy just to follow, everyone's doing this, they enjoy this. This is what I should enjoy.
Travel's a big one for that.
Yeah, exactly.
I must travel.
Yeah. And there's everyone posting on Instagram, like, do this, do that, whatever it may be. Oh, you're not traveling? No, I've been to Europe. I've been doing this, and there's people wanting to keep up with the Joneses. You know what I mean? Always doing.
Yeah, my wife's name's Jones, so it works out well.
Yeah. You got to keep up with her. I guess.
My wife's name's Jones as well.
Yeah,
funny story.
So you do keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we don't swap, but we're not swapping people.
They run your own race.
Yeah, and for me it was finding my passion, and so I feel like that you found your passion. I think there's that saying, wake up every day happy. You might not wake up every day happy, but what I find that I wake up every day excited for the challenges ahead. You know what I mean? So I might know that, I've got a hard sparring session later on with people that challenge me, and there's that little bit of dread that I'm
going to get punched in the face.
Yeah, I know I'm going to get punched in the face today, and if I'm not careful, I could get knocked out. So there's a little bit of dread there, but I'm waking up excited for that challenge because I
might knock this motherfucker out too.
The outcome will make me better on the way.
Exactly, the outcome makes me better, and I'm growing. So I guess, and then in terms of lifestyle, I think it comes down to surrounding yourself around people that truly make you bring out the best in you, because I've had periods where I've hung out with people that don't bring out the best in me or don't make me feel good about myself, and they're no fun to be around. But when my circle's a lot smaller now than it was, but I'd say it's quality over quantity. So when I do have those times when I'm spending it with people, it's always quality time. You know what I mean? Like I feel like this right now, it feels like it's quality time because we're discussing ideas and it's what I like all my conversations to be like.
Yeah.
And of course you're gonna have it's not like all serious and all, but it's having your banter but once you found your people and not being afraid to to cut other people, cut the dead weight off.
Yeah, cut the fat, bro.
Yeah,
you got to cut the fat, man.
I'm 28.
We're both going through. We're going through that. I mean, I think we're through it. Or we think we're through it. But that fucking happens. I think the sooner you can cut the dead weight, bro, the further you swim.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking blatant too. Like if you continue to add weight on your back, you just end up drowning, man. And it's fucking. It's hard. It's not an easy thing to do because you grow a love. Like I'm a loving person, bro. I grew up in the West and I love my mates. I love my friends. Without them, I wouldn't be who I am. But it's come to the time now where I've got a handful of people that are, I consider them family now in a sense. They're no longer friends. I have 1 million friends and they can stay that. Be my friend. You know what I mean? I shake your hand, I say hello.
Yeah, I say now, I fuck with everyone and no one all at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't have, I've got a very small circle and everyone else, I'll fuck with you or I don't. Like, if you'll fuck with you, do nothing wrong. If you do something wrong, I don't care. Fuck off. Exactly. There's no love lost anyway.
And you got to be cutthroat.
You have to.
It's your happiness, it's your future. It's
one shot.
Yeah.
Once you start having kids and that too, like it's really hard to make decisions like that consciously from people you've known your whole life without, in my opinion, my whole problem my whole life has been if it affected me, like you could come, say we're out here on a Friday night and you said, hey, fuck it, let's have a fight. I literally I would be like, righto. It doesn't bother me. I couldn't care what anyone says to me. I'm pretty cool within myself. But if you said that to my wife, I'll be like, I'll just like, they're just going to fuck. You know what I mean? Like I just can't. But I think that's taken a leap into with my kids. So I never had an issue with shit like that, but with me, I knew certain people weren't good for me, but hey, they weren't doing anything to me. I thought they weren't doing anything to me. And then, but now my kids come along and I'm like, I don't know if I want you around my kids. I just don't know. That's just the one, like you can still hang with me if my kids aren't there, but not at my house and fucking not while they're there. That's it.
It's like what we were saying before, going back to the who you surround yourself with, you become the average of those 5 people. It's the same with your kids, those influences that they have at an early age. They're formative years, you know.
I fucking hope not. My youngest boy's a fucking chip off the old bloke, bro. He's a big drama.
Not a bad
thing. He's a good kid. So I think one of the things that I think it's taken away from the living side, you said this for health, but I think it matches with what you're saying for living is if it feels good, like do things that feel good. I think people don't, with the lifestyle stuff, people do things that they make. The Instagram's a big problem. Like traveling, every person I see, I want to travel, and I really do question how happy people are when they travel. Like I've been on holidays with people who tell me they love traveling, and they fucking don't look like they're enjoying themselves.
Yeah, just sitting by the pool.
They just they're miserable, right? Yeah. So I think it's good. I think saying that with lifestyle, actually questioning within yourself and challenging yourself whether what you're doing is actually making you happy, not just making you pretend that you're happy.
Yep. I think just with all 3, it's just having that. I keep going back to it, but the purpose, and once you have that purpose, it drags you to being the highest self. Because once you're being dragged to that highest self and trying to be the highest, like the best version of yourself, I find that all these other things just fall into place.
Yeah,
it's
everything's on the same track.
Yeah.
All right, so we're moving to the summary. We're almost finished up. So let's get a number one tip for each thing. So money. So if you could pass on what your number one money tip to the next gen or to whoever's watching, what would that be?
Well, for me at the moment,
this is not financial advice, by the way.
You have to pay for that.
For me at the moment, it would be, and something that I'm doing at the moment is just trying to limit my expenses as much as possible. Well, I had 2 tips for this. So limiting expenses in line with what your purpose is, and then the other one related to me as well was invest in yourself before you invest in things. Do you know what I mean? And other things. So I think the best investment, and I found, is if you can invest in yourself, then it's like, especially this whole COVID situation, you see how businesses will struggle. And if you haven't invested in yourself and you're not as strong as you possibly can be, then maybe you might struggle. That's when you struggle, as well. Yeah. But if you're, no matter what happens on the external, once you've invested in yourself and you've invested resources in yourself, you're always going to be able to find a way because you've got that inner strength and that inner capability. So I think those are 2 of the things that I'm doing at the moment with money and really trying to focus on. Yeah.
So align your expenses, spend money on in line with your purpose, which is what I teach people, which is amazing. And secondly, invest in yourself, which I love as well. It's a cool one. Health tip. What's your number one health tip?
Yeah, so basically do the things that make your body feel good and don't do the things that, and your mind as well. So do the things that make your body and mind feel good and don't do the things that make your body and mind feel bad.
Understand your body, eh?
Yeah.
Understand your body. Listen to it, I suppose. I understand my body, I just don't listen.
You hear it, you just don't.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm like, yeah, I know, I've got fucking internal problems. Haven't had a solid shit for 3 years, but fucking yeah, I'm not listening. That's a problem. We're gonna have to change. It's not Charles the chosen. It's not the chosen one. It's Charles the Messiah, Joyner. 100%.
I like it.
All right, number one living tip.
Yeah, so don't follow the crowds. Find your purpose and wake up every day excited for the challenges ahead.
Beautiful. All right, summarize for us. Summarize it all up. If you could just in one sentence give back to those listening, something. What's the number one thing you'd say to summarize it all up and get them on the right path?
Yeah, well, something I say to a lot of people, I think, is self-awareness is key. Because once you become self-aware, you can. It's like all those things just fall into place. You find out what your purpose are. You can see where the fat is in your life that you need to cut off. You can. That's
the third time today you've called me fat. Fucking hell, I'll tell you, my missus called me fat last night too. I'm going to have to do something. Can I train with you?
Yeah.
I'm not paying.
Yeah,
that's what I don't pay. I'll come, but I'm not paying.
Yeah. You can stand outside and watch what I'm doing and copy it.
I wonder if I can do that. These cunt's arms are as long as my legs.
But yeah. So I think self-awareness is key, and just knowing yourself and once you've made that decision to be the best version of yourself and aligning and then mixing that with self-awareness, things just fall into place.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, that was good. We're going to finish up with the plug now. So this is all about you. So give us a bit of a plug. What are you doing now? What's going on now? Who do you want to connect with? You can help, or they can help you. So from both the business perspective and from the fight perspective, and what's next?
Yeah. So what I'm doing now is obviously just focusing fully on trying to upskill and improve my kickboxing, and then as an athlete, and then also as a man. So just trying to learn every day. At the moment, currently helping friends that have got fights coming up. So Ty, for example, with their fight camps. And yeah, just keeping ready for opportunities that present themselves, and just putting myself out there, getting my voice heard, and that's when I find opportunities start coming. Because what's the saying? It's not who you know. It's not
what you know. It's who you know.
Yeah. Well, it's not what you know, and it's not who you know. It's who knows you.
That's a good one. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
It's a good one. I use one as well. It's if you're the best cook in the world, but you didn't own a restaurant, you only cooked at home for your family, no one fucking knows about your pizza, do they? You know what I mean? So
100%.
You got to be marketed. You got to be marketed and marketable, bro. So
I say that to fighters all the time, because there's amazing amateur fighters and even professional fighters that are brilliant. But
the kickbox scene at the moment in Oz, I haven't heard of it for a while, because marketing wise, the UFC just trumps. They're just they are. It's similar to, I mean, I'm going to say it. It's with my business with Pino. There's other versions of us. No, I bought the business not knowing even who they were.
Yeah.
Just because marketing wise, it just trumps. Yeah. And marketing is the key.
There's so many fighters out there. I've said this a few times, that could walk into the world stage and towel up a lot of the top competition that you've never heard of.
Never heard of them.
Never heard of them.
It's a business in the end, and you've got to shamelessly self-promote yourself.
Who's your dream fight?
Adesanya, straight kickboxing.
You reckon you're doing?
Yeah.
When the
time comes.
I'll sponsor that.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I've got a vision for it. It's going to be a stadium. How I see it going is, so this is what my goals are. So go to Glory, become 3-weight heavy, so middleweight, light heavyweight world champion, and then get rid of the organization. So get to the point where, because in the end, you want it to be. They don't care whether it's in the UFC. They don't care whether it's in Glory. They care about who's fighting. So then you start doing stadium shows, and I can just see one day. Imagine a massive stadium show in Australia, Joyner Adesanya, and then you have an undercard of up and coming Aussie, New Zealand talent.
You'd have to, because it'd have to be
King versus Atkinson heavyweight.
That'd be easy money. Easiest money you've ever thrown at
mate. I'll 100%. I'll come with a jacket on and that, and I'll go right. If you're ripped up, I'll go like that. Bang.
I'm trained in that too, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I'm from fucking Blacktown, Newcastle.
I'm from Mount Jordan, Newcastle either. So yeah, Mount County. So but you'd have to, because you're thinking that'd be similar to like a Mayweather McGregor, right? To cross promotion, a bit closer because Adesanya, but you'd have to get that name up there, like the goal.
You have to fuck everyone up from now to then.
Yeah, well, that's.
Just have the big name. You just have to have the big name to make that cross because it'll be all that money. Yeah. It'll be all that money. You need Dana White to be going. 100%. That's worth it,
brother. I love that, but reach for the stars, bro. You know what I mean? Don't fucking set goals you know you're gonna hit. Set these goals that you know within yours. You want to set a goal that everyone else in the world goes, no fucking way.
But at the end of the
day, same with Connors 5 years ago.
You're a lawyer anyway, so if it doesn't work out, you just catch him at the back of an entrance and we just smoke him, right? And then defend any sponsors or anything?
Yeah. So we got City Cave wearing the singlet, so they're in Bella Vista, do floats and just been looking at helping me with recovery. Also got Proform Physio that are also just around the corner from here in Bella Vista. So they're just really ahead of the game with all the physio needs. So I see them once a week and they just make sure I stay in check. Got MMA Fight Store who've been providing me with gear. They're out in Concords and you can get a discount if you drop Charles 10.
He's an influencer. We got influencers on here.
And baby influencer. And a new one that's jumped on board is recently this week, Flow State Coffee. So
hey, PJ.
PJ. Yeah. So that's,
he's coming on. He's getting in 2 weeks.
Oh, awesome, man. Yeah.
I just ordered my box of the new caramel, salted caramel.
Woo! Did you use my discount code?
No.
Did you use Arlene's? I think Arlene's with them as well.
Arlene's with them as well.
I use George Cambos as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, I didn't.
He doesn't need it. Help me out.
I'll just help AJ take.
I'll jump on. I'll get some for you, but I.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, cool. Bro, that's a pretty good team of sponsors.
Considering we've only
had. Well, Evolution Gym, and then obviously Ethos is part of the team as well. I think. Pretty sure that is.
Don't miss one, bro.
Yeah, don't miss any. World Cartel podcast.
I mean, that sounds about right.
Do you have any? Is there anyone you're looking to help sponsor you? Is there any actual?
Who would you like to work with?
Oh, well, I mean,
Ashley, JD Sports. JD Sports are repping all the rappers. Why are they not repping the fighters?
Yeah. I mean, no, I'm open to anyone that wants to come to the table. I'll be open with.
Yeah, sponsorship packages and stuff. People can get in touch with you. And
yeah. So there are sponsorship packages definitely that we can get in touch with.
We both sponsor Arlene, so if you us, we'll
flick it over, bro. Have a look. Yeah, for sure. Like we mentioned that.
We sort of follow the as I said before, Ryan's a big MMA fan, and I just love watching people punch each other. So
we just like supporting the locals as well, man.
That's massive for us, bro. Like supporting people having a go. Like
but people that are in it, I've looked at sponsor. I won't name any names, but I've looked at sponsoring some fighters and stuff for a few years, and it's a lot about. It's often has always been about just the money, and I don't none of that. Like I don't like. I even said Arlene, so I don't really care if you get my brand out there. My brand's doing fine, but I just want to sponsor people that we align with, and you're very similar, Arlene. Like you're appreciative of it, and it's not about.
I think you're our brand too. Like you are, you are the epitome of what Wealth Cartel stands for. Well, I didn't know that before you came on today, but I was actually thinking today. I was thinking, fuck, Arlene said this dude was young. Like we're trying to teach young kids how to learn, and we've got a 24-year-old kid on, but fucking. Probably sit there next week if you want. Hang out, look, bro. I think you should be real proud of yourself. The way you conduct yourself is really good. To be 24 years old and conscious of what's going on around you like that, man. There's not a lot of people like it. We come across successful people every day and unsuccessful people every day. And I'll tell you one thing that everyone doesn't have in common is knowing what's going on around them. Like it's to be conscious of, like to be fair. Like we need to swap. Because fucking, I got lucky doing what I'm doing, bro. Because I'm not conscious at all of what goes on. I'm trying, and every day I try to get there. But for you to have that mindset now, that's massive.
But the idea, like, no one's perfect, right? And everyone we get on, we're trying to pick little bits out of, and at the end, I'm going to write a book on all this stuff. So the hindsight book to put together and say, look, here's to the youngins. If you want to learn from some mistakes, there they are. Yeah. If not, sweet, learn them yourselves. Because
if you know anyone that'll proofread that for him,
not him. I don't think he knows how to read.
Going with a law degree. So.
Yeah. So now, is there anything else you want to chuck on before we finish up?
No, I think it was good. That was really interesting. Thanks for having me on.
And you're a coach at Evolution, yeah?
Yeah.
So if anyone's coaching, I'm going to hit you up. I'm going to come down.
Yeah.
Is you private coaching? You do like classes or like?
Yeah. So I mean, I haven't been coaching before COVID. I was going hard. During the COVID thing, I've been sort of with helping people with different camps and my own training and different things. I haven't been coaching as much recently the past couple of months, but yeah, sort of, yeah, still at Evolution Gym and still a coach there. So
cool. Once COVID sort of buggers off, hopefully that picks back up into the swing of things, and we look forward to your next fight and hopefully seeing you on the world stage soon, bro.
Yeah, definitely.